Hey guys, Mark from Source Marketing Pros, and today we are back here up in the Great Smoky Mountains at a beautiful location. We're here with Mr. Brad from MadJack Concrete Coatings, and we're filming. He's doing a pool deck, and we've already got some stuff we've been talking about. We're just talking about a few other things here. We wanted to kind of, he's educating me too about the different chip sets that you guys can get. I might be using the wrong terminology, but you basically, this is kind of what, these are samples basically. And he was showing me the difference of some of these, what he's calling blended. So I'm gonna let you kind of explain what are exactly what we're looking at here.
So yeah, at Pentec we can offer you several different floor systems, shop floor system, solid color, evolution flake, the hybrid flake. We also have a terrazzo flake. I'm sorry I don't have a sample of that with me. That is on the website.
Okay.
They'll be able to go and check it out. We also have shop floor systems that we can offer, for commercial, industrial, for good longevity. So what you're looking at, some of the difference, some people I go speak with, they don't want the garage look per se. They want something a little more subtle. So Pentec also offers what we call the hybrid stone flake, or hybrid flake. And as you can see, it's blended. It has some 1/4 inch. It has some 1/8 inch flake, 32nd flake in it.
Yeah, so what he's talking about the actual size of the flake. So you can see they're broader and bigger here, and this has a little bit less, it's a smaller flake mixed in with some bigger flake. Yeah, pretty much.
And I think people like it because it's especially for like patios and porches. It's a little more subtle.
Yeah, I like it a lot too.
Doesn't have that punch in the face kind of look, so to speak.
Yeah.
And we're finding that it's starting to become a pretty popular design.
Right.
With the blended flake like that, people like it.
Yep. So kind of circling back a little bit. So this is kind of like what he calls broadcasting. And so you were talking about it up there. So this is going back a little bit to the process. When they put the bottom coat down, then they're going to the base coat down, then they're going to come through and they call it broadcasting. You guys are just kind of pushing out. You see it. They're out there actually just throwing out the flake. And you were talking about broadcasting. Sometimes you do a wider broadcast because sometimes you see angles and stuff like that. I was like,
it's so especially with the blended flake.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit of a different technique because you want everything to look nice and even. You don't want it splotchy.
Right.
With the 1/4 inch flake, you can pretty much get a little bit of height on it, let it float down, let it settle. It looks good. But with the blended flake, there's a little bit of different technique because the flakes are different weights.
Right.
So in order to keep that nice look, it's a little bit of a different technique, and it took a little bit of practice for us to get to where we need to be. But
right.
One of the things we like to do is we like to broadcast what we call rejection. So let's say a square footage area calls for 4 boxes. Well, I'll bring 6.
Yeah.
Because we want to make sure that we don't have what we call any shiny spots in it. We want that base coat completely covered. We don't want any base coat to show.
We used to call them the holidays.
Yeah.
When you're painting. If you missed, here's a spot. Oh, there's the holiday.
Yeah. We call it shinies because it really sticks out.
Okay.
Especially that's why as we're broadcasting, everybody's looking at, and everybody's telling the guy that's broadcasting, hey, it's a little light here, it's a little light there. And also as you're broadcasting, you're walking around looking at the floor at different angles because it's going to look different from the back to the front, from side to side, and it will help those areas that you need to broadcast a little more flake on.
Gotcha.
And then after we get the flake broadcast, we do what we call a dry roll, which is just a 3-inch snap roller, and we'll roll the whole area. That helps flatten the flake to make sure it's in, with the base coat for the adhesion that you need. And also, you don't want the flake sticking up. You want everything to lay down flat. So that's why we dry roll it as well.
Gotcha.
So after the broadcast, like I said, we broadcast to rejection. So we have to scrape it.
Yeah.
The first scrape we collect, we can reuse that. The second scrape, it's weights. We got to get rid of that because what it will do, it chops the flake. It makes the flake much smaller.
Okay.
So you don't want to use that with a new box of flake because you're going to see that distinct difference.
Sure. It won't leave. And right. Got it.
So after we do that, we vacuum. And once the floor is clean with all the extra flake, we start the top coat process. And then we'll roll the top coat. One thing that we do for anything that's exposed to the elements, like driveways, sidewalks, front porches, pool decks, or patios, we put an additive in the top coat. that will help with help mitigate slipping.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a big thing.
Yeah, there's two things we do. So we put either alligator bite or shark bite.
Yeah.
We mix that
Heard about
directly in with the top coat.
Sure.
But for added protection,
Kind of like a little sand, if you will. Kind of, I guess, right?
well, kind of.
Yeah, but it's different. It's material, it's not
different,
sand. Right.
So the next thing, but we do broadcast 4095 sand when we do our final back,
Okay.
because that just gives you that added protection, especially, especially with pool decks. And the cool thing about it, it's still comfortable, to be in your bare feet.
Yeah, you just had a guy call, and that's one thing you wanted to talk about too. It's a lot cooler than concrete. You didn't think about that. So this stuff, it rejects the heat or whatever it does, and you get that. It just seems to be cool. You're not walking on and burning your feet. Kind of cool.
So we did his pool deck last year. We maybe a month ago we did his driveway. So I checked the temperature of the driveway that particular day. The concrete was 117 degrees.
Wow.
And so I went and checked the coating that we put on. If I recall correctly, I think it's about 94 degrees.
Wow.
So it was and the sun, was beaming down on both of them.
Yeah.
And it was much cooler.
Yeah. And it's pretty easy to clean.
Oh, it's super easy. So once the top coat goes on, it's completely sealed and it's non-porous. So it's antibacterial, antimicrobial. There's nothing in here for dirt or mold or anything to hide.
Right. That's a big thing.
You can pressure wash our product at a 45-degree angle and you're not going to hurt it.
Yeah.
It's very durable, which like epoxy, you start pressure washing, you get that little chip in it, man, it's
Coming
it's
up.
gone. It's coming up. What most people are doing, especially for the larger areas, there's an attachment that you can get for your pressure washer. It has the bristles brushes. I'm not really sure what it is. I've talked to a few of our clients and they love it. They can put their chemicals right in the back. Most of them use Dawn dishwashing detergent.
Yeah.
Simple Clean.
Green, yeah.
And, to clean the area. They love it. What I do recommend, no matter what you clean this product with, make sure all the residue from the cleaning product is off of it. That means just taking a garden hose, just spray it off.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Jay, or one of the guys, Annabelle, I can't remember, was talking about sunscreen.
Yeah.
Like people at the pool deck and then, squirting, putting sunscreen. Well, anything that's oil-based is going to make something slippery, right? So, yeah, you got to be careful about that.
Well, and that's the thing that people don't understand. I have yet, and like I said, have been on a perfect pad that's perfectly level.
Yeah.
Another thing that people need to understand, if there's low spots in your garage, your porch, or your pool deck and water puddles, if your feet cannot make contact with the surface, you're going to hydroplane.
Yeah.
So what I recommend to folks pool decks is get a cheap squeegee.
Yeah.
Just have it on standby. They see that puddle of water, just take that squeegee, knock it out. You have to give your foot something to make contact with.
Sure.
If not, you're going to hydroplane and you're going to slip.
Yes, sir. I agree. Totally agree. Yep. Well, very cool, man. So, yeah, this is kind of a little educational piece we want to kind of put out there to you guys. And, we're sitting here, still got going on. Hopefully we're going to get to some flaking here a little bit and show you this pool deck eventually. And we're just kind of going through some of the stuff. And I thought this was kind of cool and the different types of flake. So we want to do a little bit on that. So stay tuned. We got more coming. He says take me out to a steak dinner later tonight. I'm not sure.
We're going to hit the world famous Buc-ee's.
Oh, Buc-ee's, that's right.
And we're going to get the 3 meat sandwich. We're going to send the guys on the way.
There we go.